Hello everyone. In this episode, we will be discussing what is skiving for conveyor belts. Skiving a conveyor belt means removing a layer of the belt's top cover in a controlled way, usually at the belt end, to create a thinner, even surface. The purpose of skiving is to prepare the belt for fastening. Mechanical fasteners sit flush and don't protrude. Um, it also improves the splice strength, also prevents wear and tear, since fasteners or splicers won't catch on pulleys, scrapers, or skirt. So basically, we're peeling off a layer of the top cover from the from the belt in order to um, make the splice sit down on the belt evenly with the surface of the rest of the belt. In simple terms, skiving is shaving or peeling off the top rubber cover of the conveyor belt so the splice area is smooth, strong, and runs trouble free, particularly if you're using super screw for splicing your belts. Skiving is really important as you want to make sure that the super screw is not being caught by the scrapers. Hey guys, so we're here to start narrating on how to skive a conveyor belt. First thing first, make sure you have your safety gears, a safety goggle, and the gloves should be enough. We are going to be introducing Fein skivers, which are usually compatible with the super screw as the most convenient and innovative splicing kit we have available from our online store. Fein is a German company. It has a high quality skiving kit. When you purchase it online, you get this in the box. It has a manual coming straight from Germany. These are cordless machines with multiple speeds and torques. Comes with a battery and with a charger. Also, we have a spare battery here as well for you. The blades can be supplied based on what you need. We have multiple different sizes available. So for example, that one is the 6mm one, and other things we need to start a skiving. So skiving is basically shaving the conveyor belt to a certain depth that's required for the splice to be carried out. So that was what's included in the box. I'm going to be using one of those ones that we already have.
Yep.
So skiver blades are something like these. Has a sharp tip and basically comes in two different types. One of them is the centered, where the depth of this gap is the same at the same time at the both ends, but on this one you can see that it will be able to skive on an angle. These are the two types that you can order. On the skiver, you have a tip and a blade. You want to change this blade by unlocking this latch as such, and then easily pull this off and you'll see something like this. So just take all the needles out so that you'll be able to fit the skiving blade as you want. It has to be end up something like this, therefore the needle would be inserted like this, and just put it back in and lock the skiver again. You can turn the machine on, and as you saw, it's an oscillating machine, so it doesn't cut your hand. It has a safety already in place. So the way to start is to make sure the conveyor is clean, doesn't have any dust. Normally a conveyor belt has carcass, top cover and bottom cover. To be safe, you never want to break the carcass, so the maximum amount of skiving has to be up to this carcass. So for example, let's say how deep is this conveyor. For the top cover you have just about 6-7 mil. That determines the type of blade you must be using not to damage the carcass. So yeah, once you've decided the blade side, make sure you draw the straight line on the conveyor. So I want to do 3 centimeters, 30 mil. Draw your line so that it would be giving you a guide on where to skive and where not to skive. That should be enough, and then just simply turn this on and start skiving. So this one's a chevron belt. It has the V normally installed on the slopes where materials are prone to being rolled down the conveyor. That's why these V shapes are just designed and put in place in order to increase the friction between the particles being carried out on the conveyor and the conveyor itself. Sometimes you may be required to skive a chevron belt, and these little things that are popping out would be needed to be skived. So the same approach, same method, just draw a line when you don't want to cut further, and that angle will be determined by how far you want to skive. And then by the end, just make sure that all the angles are flush. So that example was not the best because it was not flush. So you go one more time. And as you go, you just touch the surface, making sure that it's going to be flush until you get the desired outcome. One really helpful tip is to use the clips to secure your belt on a working area so that it doesn't move as you skive, because skiving requires a lot of pressure and pushing at the same time on the belt, and there's a high chance that the belt starts moving and it would just ruin your skiving. Therefore, using a clip and securing it to the table, to the work table, would be a very good handy tip. Just simply as that, get one of these clips and make sure it's tight enough and your belt doesn't move.